Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase we're going to look at the 1984 Autobot Ironhide. What we'll do with this video, we'll have a look at him in all of his modes, and that'll help you decide how you want to display him. I'll show you the accessories that come with him so you can know if yours is complete. I'll point out some things that you need to be aware of if you're after purchasing one for yourself. And as I'm lucky enough to have a couple of different types of packaging, we can have a look at the artwork and the battle scenes on the back of that. All right then, let's get started. And to be honest, this guy doesn't really need much of an introduction, does he? As I've said, 1984, so Series 1, Wave 1, however you want to refer it, one of the original Transformer figures. And here he is in his incredibly basic but still lovable robot mode. So, articulation-wise, consider he was Generation 1. He's got a lot of movement here in his shoulder. You can swing his arm right back, and then you can also turn it... This side's really tight compared to the other. You can either turn it all the way around as well. So you've got full articulation there in the shoulders, but you've also got full articulation and movement rotation in the wrists and in the hands, which I'm laughing as I say it because none of his accessories he could hold anyway. So it's ironic that he's got a full range of motion in his arms. You can pose them in any way. Like if he could hold a gun, he could perfectly, but he doesn't come with a gun. So, and the fact that you can turn his hands around doesn't make a difference. You can see that this side here is really loose. So that is something to be aware of. Could just be constant play wear and the moving of this. So I'm being extra delicate with that. Also something else to be aware of that can get extra delicate is this bit here. His feet, although it's not really articulation, you can say it is because it's moving there. It's mainly for the transformation process, so these can come really loose. And the main reason for that is because it's an original figure. These are die cast, so these are metal, and unfortunately you can see you've got a bit of paint chippy going on there as well. While we're looking for other things to be aware of, we've got rubber tires, which of course can perish, and he's got a lot of chrome on him as well, so this is a little bit faded there, and I'll show you an even better example of chrome fade on his bumper there we go. So that's things to be aware of. I'm going to briefly talk about the fact that he's got a missing head. As a child, as I say, you didn't really notice it. I mean, you could still tell that was Ironhide. For myself personally, and I'm not sure if people are like this, or I'm not sure, but I've managed to find, and I can't remember the name of this third-party company, and they got this, and this fits nicely over the back seat like so. And he still looks a little bit odd because he's got a really high head and low shoulders, but for me, when I'm displaying, and if you look to my collection video, that's why mine's got a head. So it is a third-party piece, and that's just how I choose to display him for myself. So I'm going to keep it on there just for now. What we're going to have a look at then, let's have a look at his alternate mode, which is of course the van. To be precise, it is a 1980 Nissan one-box Cherry Vanette, and again, it looks really good. If you want to be really pedantic, you can tell that it does come apart, or maybe mine's just a bad example. It doesn't all fit together super snugly anymore. Things to be aware of is if the plastic starts to fade, it'll show up massively. You can just about tell that this is a bit brighter than the plastic there in the front because of course we've got the metal. So that's something to be aware of. That's the good example of what I said about the fact if his feet get loose. See the fact that it just rocks backwards and forwards. But if it's in its alternate mode, and all you mainly want it to do was, especially when you're a kid, was obviously drive it around and the wheels go around, and that's exactly what you wanted it to do. This part on the front of the battle station could actually fit underneath here as well, so it'd be kept and stored away neatly. So I'm going to come to the battle station right now, to be honest, because this is where all of the accessories are. Now this piece here is the most common lost or just completely missing part from any of his accessories. There's a bit of chrome, obviously chrome fade on this, so you can need to be aware of that. But if you're looking for a complete one, you do really need this. Otherwise, you won't be able to attach this in that hole there, and it just won't balance. So you need that piece, and that is the most common lost piece out there. These were his missiles. He had 3 of these. These came on a sprue. And with this being the Hasbro variants, they don't fire too far. The Takara versions will really fire. Same again, you're looking out for chrome on here and underneath. Although they're not independent, there needs to be 3. So you've got the larger one at the front and the 2 at the back. And I'm quite lucky with the chrome on there. They're really shiny, but the chrome on the outside isn't. So you could then take your figure and then you can stand him over it like so, and then that's him in his battle station mode. Very good. It obviously also reminds you of the cartoon, especially where they turned it the other way and fired down. That might have been Ratchet now I've said that. Oops. So there is the figures. Again, they don't really need an introduction. I think everybody has seen these, even if it's the younger viewers and they've just got the Generations one. I'm sure they're aware of, due to the missing head. I'm sure people will know who it is. So I'm very lucky to have two sealed examples here. Now this is the 1984 box, but you can see there's a little Chinese symbol at the top there. So this was a Chinese reissue. Very late 80s, very early 1990s, pretty much like the gold boxes, but obviously this was only available in China. Well, not only available, they were made in China, and whereas these were only available in Europe. I'll talk a bit about that in a second. So it is an original Generation 1 figure. It was released during the Generation 1 wave of toys, but it didn't come out in 1984. There's that sticker, you can just see it a bit clearer. So you may see on some listings Chinese reissue. These aren't knockoffs. They were officially released and licensed by Hasbro, by Takara. They're not knockoffs at all. They were just exactly what it sounds like, reissued a little bit later on. Not as late as like the Toys R Us ones. I'm going to be quiet for a second and show you this. There's the first original battle scene, Optimus Prime, Starscream, etc. And there's his tech specs. Yeah, so as I was saying, not like the Toys R Us reissues, which came out, decades and decades later, or indeed any of the knockoffs. They are all official products, and you may have seen, if you've seen my channel before, I've got lots of these gold box examples. And again, these were just released very, very late 80s and the early 90s, still under the Generation 1 wave of figures. This was the English variant, and I know it sounds silly, but it's because all the writing in it is English. They did do Spanish ones and Dutch and French. They were the gold box variants. And unfortunately, on the back of this, because it was 1990, and Hasbro was really peddling the Micromaster range, that's the only battle scene we've got on the back there. So you've got your Micromasters mini play sets having a little battle there. So there we go. We've got a couple of nice examples in their box, but I just wanted to, as I say, touch on that, because some people do think that the Chinese reissues, they're like knockoffs or they're copies. They're not at all. Well, I suppose they're copies, obviously, but they're not knockoffs. They are official Takara and Hasbro products, and they still do cost quite a bit of money, and especially for people who want all the variants as well. So there we go. Here he is 1984 Autobot Ironhide. I hope you enjoyed looking at him. If you had him when you were a child, I hope it brought back some really nice memories for you. If you're a younger viewer and you've never seen him before, you probably had a right giggle. But yeah, as I say, that's the point of this. I want to keep him as educational as I can. And, as I say, if you have to complete him on yourself or get him one, hopefully this has helped you in your quest to do that. So, as always, guys, thank you for your liking, your subscribing, all your comments, everything that you're doing for the channel. And, of course, please take care. Thanks for watching. Like and comment. And don't forget to subscribe.